everyone, and welcome to the first edition of Tell Tehani. I'm Tehani Chandrasena, and today with us we have the vivacious Seravi Harris, a student of Elizabeth Moyer School. She's totally passionate about social services and she's currently studying for her A-levels. Hi Seravi. So to begin, I'm going to ask you to tell us a little bit about yourself.
So my name is Seravi Harris. I go to Elizabeth Moyer School, as Tehani said. I'm 17 and I'm half British, half Sri Lankan. At the moment, I'm studying for my A-levels. So I'm doing history, literature, econ, and math. And is there anything else you would like
So what are your favorite subjects from that combination?
Probably literature and history.
Literature. So what are your books for literature this year?
Dr. Faustus, Hamlet. I'm not entirely sure.
What the third one is?
Yeah.
That's okay. So do you like Hamlet?
We haven't started.
Started
I know the
okay.
storyline, but we
That's
haven't
great. Okay. So you come from an extremely talented background, such as, for example, your mother is extremely involved in theatre and the arts, and she's also an English professor at a university. Then your sister is an exceptional singer. Did you ever think of going down that path and following in their footsteps?
So I love acting. I'm not very good at singing at all. I'm very self-conscious when it comes to singing. But I love acting and I'm always looking for opportunities to act. But most of the the places here are musical theatre, so I'm always very concerned about going for those auditions. But school has been very supportive and they do a lot of school plays without singing and with
mostly
singing.
acting.
Yeah.
So
we do have musicals in school.
Nice. So what are some of the productions you've taken part in?
When I was at Ladies College, I took part in Scheherazade. It was about the Arabian Nights, and I took part in inter-house activities and inter-house drama. And at Moyer, inter-house drama as well, West Side Story, Alice in Wonderland.
Okay, yes, I remember West Side Story was really great. Yeah. So I know that you're really into volunteer work personally because we've both done stuff together. But tell us a little bit about that, or a little more about that. What else do you do apart from women empowerment and things? What other avenues do you volunteer in?
So I'm very, very passionate about working with children. I actually did an internship at the American Preschool in 2018. A lot of people thought that, my parents thought that I wouldn't survive because they thought I didn't like children. But surprisingly, it turned out really, really great and I loved it. So I think in the future I want to work with children and maybe human rights law or child rights law.
Yeah.
I'm not entirely sure yet. But other volunteer work, so I'm the president of the Z Club this year. It's a club for the empowerment of women and children. It's by the Zonta International in Sri Lanka. And with the Z Club, we've been doing work for children and women. We've been doing a lot of reading workshops for children at both from underprivileged backgrounds, but as well as children in Colombo. And that has been organized by the Asia Foundation. And we've been doing a lot of work for education-related work, and yeah.
Okay. So I know this is a pertinent question to anyone that does anything outside of schoolwork. So how do you balance all of it? Because that's something parents, adults, they're like, how are you going to do it all? Because I know you personally. So for us, when we do so many things, everyone's like, how are you going to do it? So what is your method of coping with that, or how do you balance it? Something like that.
So I am someone who I can't stay at home.
Yeah.
If I really need to do things.
Yeah.
So if I stay at home, I get very bored really easily, and I'm not very good when I'm bored. I get really sad and like
depressed.
like, a lot of the time I kind of feel like I don't know what to do with myself. So I really love doing a lot of things, which sometimes I have to admit I can't balance it all, and I like my parents.
Oh, it's difficult.
Yeah, it's difficult.
Yeah.
But I think, especially with school and with my parents, I've got a lot of support, and they've really helped me with figuring out what works for me, how to prioritize. And I think the balancing comes with just if you're passionate about something and you want to make it work, it's becomes easier to kind of prioritize what you want to do, how you want to do it, and I guess that's how I balance it.
So I know you intern at Every Story Sri Lanka. Tell us a little bit about that and also why you chose to intern there.
So Every Story Sri Lanka was founded by Sharanya Sekaram and with Vidya Kumarasinghe, and they're two incredible women. Like, I love working with them. I've been learning so much from them. And I've actually been kind of following Sharanya's career for a while. Sounds really creepy, and we've had this conversation so many times. And so I saw her speak at a Women's Day conference, or it was a Women's Day panel discussion or something. Okay. And then online I've seen some of her discussions, and I just went up to I was writing my CV up and thinking of sending it to a bunch of internships and job opportunities. And I just went up to my mom and I was like, please find a way to send this to Sharanya. And she was like, oh gosh, okay then. And so I got in touch with one of my mom's friends who knows Sharanya, because my mother was like, if you're doing this on your own. I will give you the contact
and you figure it
out. So I got her to send Sharanya my CV, this lady, and she got in touch with me. So what I really like about Every Story Sri Lanka is it's a very different space.
Okay.
So basically, the organization is a feminist storytelling collective, and it's trying to create spaces where underrepresented or marginalized narratives are kind of brought to light or discussed.
Which is so important.
Exactly, right? Because we don't see these stories enough, and it's also and storytelling is also the best way to bring these experiences, these life histories out, right? So that was something that I was really drawn to, because I love storytelling, and I think that's one of the best ways to communicate things, and I love the work that they do, so that's really what drew me to them.
Yeah, and I think it's so important for more youth in Sri Lanka at least to get involved in things like that and be a part of platforms. So I think it's really amazing that you're doing that. So I wanted to ask, what made you realize that advocacy or social services and stuff was your thing? What was the event or the trigger, or what made you realize that this is what I want to do?
So I think I've been exposed to social work and advocacy for a while, since I was really little. Both my parents were in Rotary, my grandmother was a volunteer worker her entire life. And I think that started because she used to take me to the Christopher Care Center in Matakulia. I think it's shut down now, but it was this incredible place. It was attached to the church in Matakulia, where the women with children who are differently abled and struggling mothers used to just come and spend time there, learn vocational skills and arts and craft. And I used to just go and spend time, and I couldn't volunteer because I was 5 or 6, but I used to just go and play with the kids there, and it was just an incredible experience. And I think just going there almost every Sunday and being surrounded by volunteer workers and people within that space really inspired me. And just growing up, I've been going to a lot of Rotary stuff.
Exactly. I think growing up in this space makes you more into it.
Yeah,
and then you want to be like, okay, when I'm older, that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
And this is the kind of person I want to be. So that's really great. So apart from volunteer work and advocacy and all those other amazing things that you do, what are your hobbies?
So I love painting and drawing. I do a lot of sketches at home. I read a lot. Sometimes my mother scolds me for reading and not studying.
Yeah, because novels are so much more interesting.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, and they really are.
And I guess also reading your literature texts makes you feel like it's studying.
Because it's your literature text.
Because it's not because it's just purely because it's related to school. What else do I do? I cycle a lot because I don't do any other fitness.
Okay.
My sister's been trying to get me to go to the gym. That worked.
Not really.
Not really.
Yeah. So going back to novels and literature, that's so true about how when you're studying it, it doesn't feel like you're reading it for leisure.
Yeah.
Because I know the books I'm doing right now are some amazing books which are Beloved.
Beloved, yeah.
And Wuthering Heights.
Yeah.
And they're so good, but something just doesn't draw me to it because I have to study it. So I know what you mean.
I remember having this conversation with you and you said that you were so shocked that I was reading Beloved for pleasure.
Fun, yeah, exactly, yeah. And painting, so what kind of things do you like to paint? Is there like something specific or canvas sketching? What?
I'm actually really bad at painting on canvases because
Okay.
I'm so scared I'm going to mess things up.
Yeah, and then you can't do anything about it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I paint a lot of people, body figures. I think that's the most interesting because I think the human body is so interesting.
Yeah.
And yeah, I know all these pictures of my friends all over my wall that I've like drawn. It's slightly creepy, but they all know there's been consent there.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah. So finally, what can you say to young individuals who are passionate about advocacy work and let's say you're talking to your friend who is not into it? How would you persuade her or what would you say to her to at least get her thinking about it, him or her?
I guess that if you live in a country where you, let's just say everything isn't great.
Yeah.
And the same can be said for so many different countries. But I think that it's really important to believe in certain things and have certain things that are outside of your schoolwork. Because I think it's very important to stand for something and to believe in something. So I guess find something that you're passionate about. Whether it's animals, the environment, there's always something outside of school that you can find interest in. Yeah. And I think there's always things that need to be fixed and need your help fixing. So I guess find something that you're passionate about and try and be more involved in that.
Thank you so much, Seravi, for being here. It was wonderful having you.
Thank you for having me. It was really nice talking to you.
Thank you everyone for being with us. We hope to see you on our next edition, where we will be talking to more inspiring young individuals. Have a great week, guys.